Hey y'all, so I am back in my office. I've been back for about a week now, but I haven't recorded in my office in over a month, so I'm happy to be back. It's actually summer semester here. It started on this past week on Monday, or this Monday, but I wanted to share with you my end of semester horror story as a doctoral student. But before I get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I guess I probably should address my new look. So yes, I cut off my hair. I'm gonna talk about this in another video, but I have alopecia, y'all, and I just got sick of trying to cover it and all of this other stuff. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take out the Jada Pinkett and I'm gonna cut my hair. Now back to this video. So as y'all know, I have been in Italy for the past month. I was on an archaeological dig site. I worked as a mental health clinician with a group of veterans. It was a very, very great time, y'all. I'm actually going to do another video where I just talk about my experience and kind of let y'all know like a little more about what I was doing. But as I was in Italy, I had two courses that I was in. One was actually kind of like finishing up. And that was like, I was okay with that. Everything was turned in on time. I finished it, got my A. Okay, I was happy. I had another course that I needed to finish up. I had a paper that was due. It was like a 25-page paper. I had already done most of it, and I thought that it was due once I got back, which was on the 13th, but it was actually due on the 1st. So I was still checking like my work emails, and I checked my email like on the 1st, and the professor was like, hey, didn't get your paper that was due yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? So I was like, oh my gosh, so sorry. I may have gotten the dates mixed up. I thought it was due on the 13th because that was the last day of courses. And he was like, and so I was like, could I have an extension? I'm in Italy right now, working as a mental health clinician, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I usually don't do this, but, I'm willing, to give you that extension. Because he does do extensions, it sounded like, but you need to ask him before the due date. So he was very gracious and he gave me the extension until the 8th. So that gave me enough time. I actually got back on the 5th, so that gave me enough time to kind of get things set up. So actually, working in Italy was like kind of hard because the Wi-Fi was not the best, and then I was using like another laptop that didn't have like everything that I needed on it. So that's why I was like, I really need to do this once I get back so I can have everything I need to turn in a great paper. So got back on the 5th. My travel was like a hot mess, but I'll talk about that later. And then that Friday, I finished up the paper, so I turned it in, like earlier than the time that he gave me, which was that Sunday. I turned it in on Friday. And like I said, I had already been working on it. I just needed to go back in and like add in a few things. This professor in particular grades really quick, so I knew that probably once I got back to work on Monday that I would see like the graded paper. So I turned it in, got everything squared away with that. Was like, oh, I can close my laptop and kind of relax until Monday. So on Monday, I was just, checking my emails, getting caught up, and I saw like an email that he graded it. So I was like, okay, I know I did good, right? Because I had already been working on it. Yeah, I opened that email and it basically was like, this is the worst paper ever. And did you even like listen to any of the edits that like I gave you before? Blah blah blah. And I just was like, oh my gosh, like I always turn in great work. So I logged into like the grading system because I wanted to see my grade. I was like, okay, yeah, all that stuff is fine, but what's my grade? So the grade was a 70. Now that is the lowest that I've gotten on a paper since I've been enrolled in my program. But I'm like, okay, I've gotten, high grades on everything else. And I looked at the grade average at the top, and guys, it was a 78. I was like, oh my gosh, a C? Like, are you serious? And doctoral students cannot get C's. Like if you get a C, you gotta retake the course. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'll be honest, like I didn't plan on replying to his email because I felt like it was so like negative. But once I saw that, I'm like, okay, I kind of gotta, like reach out to him to see what I can do. So, I was like, thank you for your feedback. So that's the thing. So if you're a student and you're watching this and you get like some critical feedback, like even if you don't agree with it, still thank the person for their feedback. and kind of try to turn the conversation, which is what I tried to do, and which is what I recommend students do. So I was like, thank you for your feedback. I was in, Italy for the past month, doing this word 1, 2, 3, and I kind of, and as a result, like my work slacked off. So I didn't want to make like any excuses, but just being honest. Because I got back and I was tired, but I had already been working on it, so I thought that it was a-okay. And I asked, could I possibly do, like a redo? Can I do some edits? Because doctoral students can't get C's. I'm not trying to retake this course. I'm 9 hours away from dissertation status. So that means that at the end of this summer, I'm going to be ready to take the comps exam in the fall. It's actually scheduled for sometime in September. So I'm like, no, this is starting off my plans. Like I'm ready to be Dr. Dugan already. So he was like, yes, you're right. Doctoral students can't get C's, however, look at your grade within the system, because it's not a C. It was actually a B. So I was very, very happy about that. Like, whew, y'all, that really like just scared the living daylights out of me. And I'm actually taking this professor again starting yesterday, Monday, because I'm taking a shortened mini course. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really got to make sure that, my game is tight, that everything looks good. I got my book yesterday. I'm going to get my APA manual this time. I'm actually going to buy it, y'all. And I'm gonna make sure that everything is on track. So if you're a doctoral student, and you get that critical feedback, make sure that your response reflects you in a positive way. Ask for all of the facts. Ask, can you have an extension? Be honest with your professor, because life does come up. So I always encourage students to be positive, to be honest, and then try to turn that situation around as much as possible. So I got to be in the course, y'all. Still on track to do my comps exam in the fall. So I'm very excited. Also very excited to be back at work and just work with our students. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know my email subscribers are like, where have you been, Ms. Dugan? It's been about 2 weeks, y'all. I needed, like some rest. So I'll be back again this Friday with my weekly email. If you're not subscribed to my email list, the link is in the description box below, and you get a freebie. You get my tips that I actually use to get out of student loan debt in 9 months. So make sure that you check that out. Check me out over at my blog. The blog will be updated soon, dugandisdisability.org. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.